Well, welcome back to Living Local. The United States Department of Housing and Urban Development estimates the number of Americans, including veterans, without safe, stable housing. The most recent count was conducted in January 2018. The national snapshot of veteran homelessness showed that on a single night, just over 37,800 veterans were experiencing homelessness. On the same night, just over 23,300 of the veterans counted were unsheltered or living on the street. While the estimated number of veterans experiencing homelessness in the United States has declined by nearly 50% since 2010, there are still many out there who need help, and that's where Bridging the Gap comes in. And here to talk to me about that is Mike Malmstrom from Bridging the Gap. We appreciate you being here today.
Thank you for having me this morning.
Absolutely. Can you just start by telling us a little bit of the history behind Bridging the Gap?
Bridging the Gap started in 2000 in the Quad City area. Stand Downs actually started in 1987 in San Diego, basically around the Vietnam veterans that were coming back. Number one, they didn't trust the government, and that included VA, so a lot of them weren't receiving the help and requesting the benefits that they had coming from them. So there was a group that got together and put on what they call a stand down. A stand down was a termination used in Vietnam as well as other wars, but it was a time the troops could go back, not have to worry, look over their shoulder, write home, see a doctor, see a reverend, whatever the case may be. And we're trying to recreate that to where these folks that are on the street would have a safe haven for a couple of days and also get some services that are sadly needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Why is this cause so important to you personally?
Well, as a veteran, I served in the Marine Corps Reserve for 8 years, and I got involved with veterans casework and veterans work in general when I was working with past Congressman Wayne Evans. He got me involved with a lot of the stuff that I am today. But it's important because we have a number of homeless in general across this nation, but it's also an avenue for me to give back to the veterans who actually went overseas and served and put their life on the line. These folks come home, they need to be recognized, they need to be helped, and it's not just a handout, it's a hand up with what we do, because when we bring them in on that weekend, we provide them the services, we provide them the food, the showers, the clothing, and whatever else is needed. And it's a lot of camaraderie. Another veteran will have no problem talking to another vet before sometimes they'll talk to somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for your service, Mike.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about the common causes of homelessness among veterans.
A lot of the common causes of homelessness is when these guys come back, especially if they were in a combat situation. In some cases, they might have PTSD, might have some other traumas and so on and so forth, and they have a hard time getting reacclimated with the community, their civilian counterpart, and whatever. The statistics show on a Vietnam veteran, actually, and that's not the only ones we deal with, but the statistics are an in-country Vietnam vet will probably be divorced 4 times, probably will have 5 or 6 jobs, and in many cases turn into alcohol or drugs for assistance. And our goal is to try to assist them through that process so they can get back into productive citizens, which helps themselves, their families, and the community.
Absolutely. Have you noticed that this is a serious problem here in the Quad Cities specifically?
It is a serious problem. Our numbers have actually went down, which is a good thing.
That's good.
Because as long as there is our commitment has been, if there's one homeless vet out there, we're going to continue to go. But the VA has done an excellent job in getting some of these folks housed, but just housing them is another situation. They can be housed, but they don't necessarily have the items to maintain a household. Pots, pans, dishes, clothing, stuff like that. So we're there to help with that stuff too, and we're actually in the process of putting together a grant from our situation to where when a veteran gets housed, if they let us know what they have, the agency that's working with them will let us know what they need to complete that housing project, why we'll go out and try to make sure that they get it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Have you seen any just victory stories come out of Bridging the Gap over the years?
We have. We've seen veterans in the 19 years we've been going. We've seen veterans from World War II all the way to vets that have just been discharged 6 months prior. And the one story I keep remembering is the older gentleman. He's a Korean War vet, living in his car. He didn't want to come in for help. And we was able to convince him to come in for help. Because of that, within a couple of months, he had a house, or had housing, and we got him off the street.
Wow.
Of course, then he was old enough for his Social Security and other benefits like that. So, the other one was a guy who had just been out 6 months, got back to this area, didn't really have any family, didn't have a job, didn't know what to do, and he wound up with us that weekend. Well, we're one-on-one. In other words, if an individual comes in and says, I need to do something during the period of this time that I'm there that weekend, we try to do whatever possible to make sure he's able to do it. Well, in the course of that, it was a job interview. So we let him leave, go to his interview. He came back to the situation and to where the QCCA, and by the end of the weekend, he had a job and was on the road up.
Wow.
So it's
what's that do to you personally when you see this, the help you're able to give?
well, it's just it's not just me. We have a group of people that are amazing. Our board of directors, our volunteers, and it's a very emotional weekend because you get to know these guys. They get to know you. Some of these guys now, when I go over to Davenport or walking down the street, even in Rock Island, and I run across one of these guys, because we've been doing it so long and they know us, they'll stop me and we'll talk, and I got one gentleman that I pass my cards out. They can call me at any time, and he happens to be a Marine, but he calls me and lets me know what's happening with him, because he was in the program for a while and he kind of fell out, but he wants to keep up informed what's happening with him. So it's great to know that we've been some assistance out there, that we've made an impact in the area, and we'll continue to do so.
Yeah, that's amazing what you guys are doing for sure. And in order to do that, you have to raise money. And you guys do have a fundraiser coming up.
Yes,
tell us about the annual taco fundraiser.
The annual taco fundraiser started out small. We've moved it around. But the last couple of years, we've had it at the Viking. It's a $5 event. It's going to happen on April 17th from 5 to 7 at the Viking in Moline. The address is as you can see it on the air.
Yep.
And it's $5. You can't get a better taco dinner. We have the raffles and door prizes, and a lot of camaraderie there too.
That's awesome. It sounds like a lot of fun. How do you guys specifically utilize that money?
What we do with that money there is we'll provide clothing for the stand down itself. A lot of stuff's donated, but there's still things that we need to buy, because when these guys come in, especially the ones that stay overnight, we provide them with a brand new set of sweats, underwear, t-shirts, socks, hygiene kits, and when they complete the program on Saturday morning, then we have a graduation ceremony for them, and we'll have a graduation pack. Usually it's a backpack, and we put winter hats, gloves, stuff that they can use on the street, and send them out with that, along with a sack lunch, and hopefully that they've gotten something out of that weekend to be able to help them pick themselves up.
Yeah, move along for sure. So what was the turnout like last year?
Well, last year's taco dinner?
Yeah.
Taco dinner was excellent. It was packed house.
Oh, wow.
And actually 2 years ago, we actually ran out of food. So, I mean, that's always an issue that we face, because we don't take reservations. It's just come and we'll serve you. But it's a good time. A lot of people look forward to it. The Viking this year actually put it on their website. Called me the other day and said expect a crowd from our group. So I mean, it's just getting the word out. So
yeah, that's really, really great. What all goes into preparing this event? I'm sure it's not easy.
Well, the taco dinner is, I've got one gentleman, Andy Ortiz, he does our cooking. He's an excellent, got an excellent taco recipe.
He's a pro.
Oh, yes, he is. And then it's just a lot of the veterans and the volunteers that we have on the committee that actually help work in the kitchen, serve the food. We've got couple people that'll help with the door prizes and the raffle prizes, and we've got a couple others circling the crowd with 50-50s, and it's a busy evening.
Yeah, all hands on deck.
All hands on deck.
That's awesome. So obviously we want everyone to go to the taco dinner, but if anyone wants to get involved with Bridging the Gap in other ways, how can they do that?
Well, we have a website. It's Bridging the Gap QCA.org.
Okay.
I believe I got that right.
Yeah.
I'm not a real computer geek, but
we'll put it on our website
right.
either way. Oh, there it is. BridgingTheGapQCA.org. Yep.
Okay. What they can do is they can get on there, and we have actually created that website several years ago, which has helped out because we keep that up to date. And they can get a hold of Gloria off of that for volunteerism, and find out what they'd like to do and what they're good at. Maybe they have a specialty. We've actually had nursing students come in from Blackhawk.
Oh, wow.
That gives them an opportunity to get into the real world. The VA is always there with the medical team, but sometimes it's just people don't realize just how much can be done by just sitting there and talking to these guys. You know, having a conversation with them and getting to know them a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mike, again, thank you for your service, and thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. And if you want more information, you can visit their website, like we're talking about, bridgingthegapqca.org, and again, visit the taco dinner as well, the fundraiser. And we're going to take all that information and post it on our website, ourquadcities.com. We're back with more Living Local after this.